Hi there, Damien here, public speaking and performance coach, helping you overcome public speaking anxiety, public speaking nerves, or any fears or doubts you may have about speaking or performing in public. Often when we have to speak in public, we immediately begin to create a negative scene in our minds. We begin to imagine what our public speaking or performing event will look like. Now, this may be taking place in a venue that we're familiar with. It may be in an office that we normally work in, or a conference room that we're familiar with. But the image in our mind that we paint when we're thinking about our future public speaking event is completely different to reality. Instead of maybe remembering the conference room as bright and with lots of natural light, or we start to imagine a conference room or a performance space that is dark and scary. We start to imagine a space that feels almost claustrophobic, where the walls are closing in and the space feels very small and confined. If it's our co-workers or family members who are watching our speech or presentation, we begin to imagine them as being negative and critical, almost like judges on a TV talent show with a big X waiting to buzz us off the stage. Now, these may be some very good friends at work that we work with, or it may be family members that we know only wish us well. But in our imagined recreation of reality in our mind, all we see is a negative picture of people that we've known for years and years. Now, as I've mentioned, what is happening there is we've completely left the reality and we've gone into a false concept into our mind. But what we're going to do in this video is we're going to bring ourselves back to reality by actually painting a more accurate picture, not only of our environment, but also of our audience. So, let's assume we know some of the people in our audience for our public speaking or performing event. It's usual that we'll know at least one person in the audience. But it may be you're doing a public speaking event where you don't know anybody at all, but we can still do this exercise. Now, I want you to just start off and think about your public speaking event. And start thinking about the room. Write down how you describe the room, how you see the room. Is it dark? Is it overbearing? Is it big and scary? Is there lots of space, or maybe it's small and confining? What are the things that make you nervous about this space? Don't try and be accurate at this point in the exercise. Don't say, oh no, I know that the room has really got lots of light in. We want to tap into the image that's in your mind, not the image that you currently see or that you know to be true. Public speaking fear or anxiety isn't rational, so we have to start by addressing the irrational images in our mind. So maybe you imagine your public speaking area as being grey and dark. Maybe you see it as having long, echoey walls that almost seem to dominate the space. Maybe you see it as not having an exit. Even though you know there is an exit and an entrance, maybe you feel confined that you couldn't just leave if you wanted to because you're at the front, and even if you wanted to run out, you'd have to run through the crowd. These are all quite terrifying images that we want to dispel. So write down a list of all the negative adjectives, the describing words that you would use to talk about your public speaking space. Then, I want you to think about a new way to describe them. Now, this is where you can actually use reality and the present moment to help you. So if possible, you can visit the venue that you're going to speak at, visit the room, visit the conference hall, and instead of dark, overbearing windows, write down positive descriptions of the windows. Full of light. They go all the way to the ceiling from the floor. lovely net see-through curtains letting in lots of daylight. What about the floor? Look at the colours. Look at the chairs. Instead of seeing the chairs full of being packed closely together with potential critics, see the chairs as looking like they may be comfortable or very professional. What you're looking for is words that you find more comfort in to recreate the reality in your mind to one that is more faithful. Maybe for you, just the size of the room has always been daunting. But take a walk around the room if you can. If you can't physically do that, do it mentally. Maybe take a picture of the room if you can. How does it feel being in the room? Do you feel safe? Other than this crazy imagined movie in your mind, are you okay in that room? Is the room doing anything to hurt you? Now these questions may sound silly. Well, of course the room's not going to hurt me. Don't forget we're speaking to the irrational part of our mind here. So what you're going to do is you're going to build up a vocabulary that is more positive and comforting to describe your public speaking venue. Now for some of you, you won't be able to physically get into your public speaking venue. Maybe you're performing somewhere that you're just going to turn up. If you can get there before and do this exercise, it's crucial. 5 minutes before is better than nothing. However, if you really literally can only get into the venue when you have to do your speech, then just imagine it. If you have any pictures, that's great, but if not, you're just going to describe the venue in a much more positive and endearing and comforting way. So try that. Please do let me know how you get on in the comments. What you're going to really start to experience is the fact that your mind is not telling you the truth. All of this negative imagery that it's projecting is really just a complete fabrication. And by redescribing it, what you're doing is you're giving yourself a chance to connect with reality, which is always okay. I hope that was helpful for you. So please like and subscribe this video. Please share it with anyone that you think will find it useful. And stay tuned for more tips. Until next time.